speaking of Sony, let's switch gears, but not really switch gears, if you understand what I'm saying. Sony, you know, they did this PSN requirement. They said, oh yeah, you had that PSN to you know, access Helldivers. And just as that was done, this whole other report came out that Ghost of Tsushima's developers have revealed that basically PC players will need a PlayStation Network account to play the multiplayer mode. Single player doesn't need it, but the Legends multiplayer, the co-op stuff, that will require a PSN account. So with all this stuff that happened with Helldivers, this thing pops up. How do you feel?
Man. Yeah, I just don't get it, do you?
They don't.
They just don't get it. This is not gonna end well for you guys. I think it's better than the Helldivers thing, just because now you set the expectation, like, hey,
yeah,
don't expect to not have to sign up for this, because you will have to sign up for this. Like, be very well aware this is something that you will have to do. But I do think that there needs to be a reason to download this. Like, if they really wanted to make this like a competitive thing, what they could do is create a PlayStation Network, like, you know, a PSN login, whatever, you know, yada yada, regular shit, regular launcher, but make it so that when you buy games on your PlayStation, you get them on the PC, or you get them at a very reduced price, like $10, and you can get it on your PlayStation and your PC type shit. Like something smart like that.
You want PlayStation to give value to PC players out of virtue?
Yeah, like, that's the thing. Like, there's ways of going about it where you guys would definitely get the people involved that you would want, but it's just not gonna happen because money, you know.
Bro, it's so funny, bro. It's so funny, man. You corporations are so funny, dog. You guys aren't slick either. You guys aren't slick. Again, unfortunately, you get away with a lot of stuff, but we see the movements. We pre the movements, man. Helldivers 2, that thing happened. You ran up against a freight train. You're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? You weren't gonna get away with anything there. Ghost of Tsushima, I feel like it's gonna be maybe slightly a different story. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully people can galvanize, you know what I'm saying, around this and say, hey, yo, we don't want that either, in my opinion. But I'm kind of looking past this to see why would they be so interested as to putting their PSN login and stamp on all these PC players now. Why are they doing it now? You know what I'm saying? What is the point of this? Because beforehand they dropped all, you know what I'm saying, they dropped The Last of Us and all stuff like that, and blah blah blah, other titles that didn't really have any tie, and they didn't care. Why now? And again, this goes to the conversation of, they understand that PC gaming is a frontier that they need to tap into, and I feel like they're leaning in very heavily on the, we want to put our stamp on it, so much so that we want identifiers. We want to, again, we want to really solidly kind of push our way into the PC environments, you know what I mean? And I feel like they're doing this to kind of start that process. And somebody brought up an idea on Twitter, I think it was a person named Yogensha. Shout outs to Yogensha, but a really good thought about this. And I don't want it to go that way, but if this is kind of the first building blocks to try and start saying, hey, first and foremost, you guys got a PSN login. Yeah, that happened, cool. But after that, starting to build up towards saying, okay, you have a PSN login, you're on PC, you're playing these PlayStation games, you need to pay for PS Plus to get online for these games. And we know how that conversation runs. We know how that conversation runs. I think this is the start of them trying to at least poke and prod towards it. I don't know how you feel.
Yeah, if they... You're saying, so let me, before I kind of snap. You're saying they would ask you to play for PlayStation Plus to play games online?
I'm not saying they'd do it now, but I'm saying them requiring a PSN login right now on multiplayer games, I feel like, I'm not saying it explicitly does, but it could set the precedent that they say, yo, you need a login to play this stuff, to play online with other PC players or whatever, blah blah blah. There may be a time where they want to integrate cross-platform between PC and PlayStation. They say, why aren't we charging PC players to play online for these games? And they'll eventually come to that conclusion and say, hey, if you want to play this game online, you got to pay for PSN. I don't care if you came through Steam. You have a PSN login now. You have to pay through.
I don't think that they would do that, mostly because it would just straight up destroy their. It would destroy their hold in PC. The one that's very non-existent. But the thing is that with PCs that you have so much freedom, they can't really instill that in you and be like, you have to go through us, because we don't really have to. Like, that's the beauty about PC, because there's so many different launchers, so many different markets, so many different storefronts. You don't have to pay for PlayStation Plus, because like, if there's nothing that PlayStation Plus can offer us that we will need, right? Like, they can't be like, well, we have the best deals, because they don't. Steam has better deals and it's free. We have the better servers. They don't. Like, it's factually untrue. PlayStation has some of the worst servers, actually. So like, there's no benefit to having PlayStation Plus on PC. Like, them even having a PC market is kind of like a luxury for them. Like, it's really like, it's kind of like we're doing them. We have a lot of the PC players have a lot of the power, and they can easily just not engage with their shit. And even just showing how people were ready to just like refund their game and drop Helldivers. I would hope that they're smart enough to realize that is not even a route they can go down, because it would just straight up destroy whatever hopes they had of being in the PC market.
I don't think this is a slight on them being dumb or smart. It's just, as we've seen, there's a lot of smart people in gaming, but will the greed push you somewhere to make a mistake? And they know they dominate console market. They know they dominate console stuff, and it's going on record to say, hey, to really substantiate what we're doing, we got to start engaging with PC more. The new again, what's it called? A lot of the talk from the CEOs and big wigs at Sony in Japan have been like, yo, we want to start engaging with the PC market and establishing stuff there, to kind of see this next range and frontier that we have in terms of, you know, the profits and accessing player base. It's not necessarily being smart or dumb. I feel like they just want to. They're gonna test us. They're gonna test people. They're gonna really try their hand to see how much they can get away with. And if they can get close enough to it, I think they're gonna push the button. I really think they're gonna push the button. There are things that I wish weren't an established thing, but people got close enough to where they could push the button to see if people allow it. A few people did, and then it became a standard. This is the hardest place to push that button, though, because PC and online, PC online gaming and paying for it have never meshed. I think they never will. But this is a dangerous game. This is a dangerous game with a lot of different stakes, because, again, PlayStation does have good games. You know what I'm saying? Multiplayer games, I don't know exactly how they're gonna, what appeal there is to certain ones. They have to drop some phenomenal multiplayer shit to really be like, oh, everybody on the PC market has to play it, or most people on the PC market on Steam has to play it. But they're pushing the line. They pushing it, bro. I think they're to themselves. Sony is too Sony to not look at that, to not have an extra set of eyes on it. Like, damn, we could. I'm not gonna make the run, but I'm gonna look at it though. I'm gonna see it. They're side eyeing it heavy right now, in my opinion. And this is just the building blocks. They're playing very carefully with how they approach it. That's why they're just dropping the PSN requirement in the couple games that have it right here now. Helldivers, again, it turned out to be a huge game, but it wasn't marketed as a huge game. They didn't drop that requirement to kill its flow. You know what I mean? So right now they're just dipping the toe to see what they can get away with and what they can allow over this next year as they come out with more shit. But in my opinion, I gotta be a pessimist. I gotta be negative. They're going to try this shit. They're going to try this shit. And I hope to the heavens that the response is immediate vitriol and knocking that shit down 3 pegs. That's where I stand. Because I know from what we've seen from all these corporations, from most of these guys over the past years, in the past week, they're gonna be greedy for greed's sake. They're gonna push the button if they can. They're gonna do it if they can.
No, yeah, I could see them doing it. But I also could see. I could think of a better route for them to take would be to just have in-game like bonuses for having PlayStation Plus account. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens.
I hear it. All right.